Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Cozy Rogers, and this is The Elder Scrolls Total War, which is kind of buried under the Medieval 2 Total War symbol because mods are perfect in their imperfections. Now, I've tried to record this several times already, and it's crashed every single time. I don't want to click too many things on the main menus here, because it crashes all of the time. Once I get into the game, it's more stable. I just want to try and hopefully squeak my way into an actual game. Can I make it work? Let's see. Okay, also, one thing to note before I do, I cannot actually make this game record my mouse cursor. So if any of you guys, I'm using XSplit. If any of you guys, I've looked for a few hours and I cannot find any way to do this. If any of you have recorded successfully a Medieval 2 Total War game and you are able to make your mouse cursor appear, by all means, let me know how you did it, because I cannot figure it out. So here in the single player menu, there's a bunch of cool stuff which I don't want to click on because the game's going to crash. We have the custom campaigns, which are actually really neat. There's, I think, 6 or 7 of them of different eras, different time periods in Elder Scrolls history, where you can just kind of set your grand campaign to take place, and they're pretty neat. We have some historical battles which are shoved in there. There's a lot of content in here. It was all originally in Russian, so if you notice some grammar mistakes, whatever, don't flip out. It's not their first language. I think somebody went through the effort. There's a ton of text in this game, so somebody went through the effort of translating all of that, which is super impressive, and we should be thankful to them, not not making fun of them, I suppose. So here in the main Elder Scrolls campaign, hopefully you can see those little boxes. Even though you can't see my mouse cursor, I'm mousing over the Tamriel Empire. Hopefully that little dialogue box to the bottom left of the Tamriel Empire that's moving around right now. Hopefully you can see that. Anyways, I don't want to click on all these factions because, again, clicking on these things crashes the freaking game. I just want to get into a game safely. So we have the Tamriel Empire here. That could be an interesting campaign, but I already know who I want to play as. Tamriel Empire. They are the vastest empire in the world. They're basically the Romans of the Elder Scrolls universe. They're surrounded on all sides. Presumably they're going to start falling on some difficult times very shortly as everyone tries to get a piece of their big pie. Up in High Rock, we have the kingdoms of Daggerfall, Wayrest, and Orsinium. We have Skyrim, complete with all those custom Skyrim armor models. We got Skyrim guards, presumably with arrows stuck in their knees. If they don't, 0 out of 10. Aldmeri Dominion down there in the bottom, the southwest. I always get confused with my directions. On the Somerset Isles, they're going to be coming out of there, trying to invade everyone, presumably. The Kingdom of Valenwood, who I don't want to click on, but if I did, you'd be able to see that they were so irrelevant, they don't even have a map icon, so I'm not even sure whether that's a faction that's implemented in the game as playable or not. I don't want to tempt fate by clicking on it. The tribes of Blackmarsh down there in the southeast, coming out of Blackmarsh with all that hist superpowers and such. It might be a compelling campaign to play as them. I was tempted to play as them. They will not be my final choice, though, because they are an enslaved people. They're out there, they finally get their chance for revenge, and they just they wreck shit, basically. In the actual lore of the Elder Scrolls, they as soon as they see their opportunity, they take vengeance swiftly and thoroughly, so they're pretty cool. Also, fun fact, when Oblivion invades the realm, the Hist predicts their invasion, and the Argonians invade Oblivion instead, so they're pretty badass. We have the Hammerfell factions of the Clan of Crowned and the Clan of Forebears. The Clan of Crowned are kind of their classic hierarchy of authoritarian peoples. They're the royalty, basically. The Clan of Crowns is run by the royalty. And then we have the Forebears, who were kind of the warrior class that were empowered when the Empire kind of started gaining influence in Hammerfell. So those are our 2 Hammerfell factions, presumably in the midst of a civil war. Maybe some outside powers coming in and grabbing what they can during the chaos. That could be a fun campaign as well. The 2 Argonian kingdoms of Palatine and Anequia, which are kind of engaged in civil war down there in Elsewhere. And then we have the Morrowind factions, the Great Houses, the 6 Great Houses of Morrowind. Tribunal Temple, who are kind of the religious leaders of Morrowind. Great House Dagoth, who we'll get back to later. Great House Redoran, who are kind of like the religious crusaders of righteousness. Really very strong warriors and very religious. Yeah, basically that's it. They're crusaders. Perfect definition. Great House Telvanni, who are kind of anarchists up there in the far northeast, who want to, basically, they don't believe in objective morality. They believe that whoever is the strongest can just make their own morality and do whatever they want. So if that appeals to you, House Telvanni for life. Then we have Great House Hlalu, who are the traitors. Yes, I didn't mean to to make that a pun, but yes, they are the traders in both sense of the word. Some might say they trade in goods. As you can see, their icon are the scales. They're all about wealth and trading and power, and they are the most accepting in Morrowind, maybe the only ones accepting in Morrowind of imperial influence. So some might call them traders indeed. Then we have up here back in the top left, Great House Drez, who are down there to the south of Morrowind, the far south, almost bordering Argonia. Actually, I think they are bordering Argonia, and they're basically just a bunch of asshole traders who enslave Argonians, so screw them. Then we have the Undead, who I'm not sure whether you can actually play as, but again, not tempting fate. They are basically the rebel faction of this game. You can command draugrs and skeletons and such. It's pretty cool. And then we have the tribes of Ashlanders, who are kind of like the Horde faction. They're almost like the Mongols, wandering around Vardenfell. And I think they're kind of on their own, but I don't think you can actually lose as that faction. I think like if you lose your territories, you just keep respawning. Not 100% sure. I think that's how it works. Anyways, my decision, as you might have guessed, because they were the one that I skipped, is going to have to be Great House Dagoth. The campaign potential looks awesome for them. Great House Dagoth, what are they? They're basically the evil faction of Morrowind. I'm just dropping pencils. Forgive the noise. They're basically the evil faction of Morrowind. We have Lord Dagoth here, our leader, who is goddamn, do I have to go into... I should really go into his story, but I don't want to do this all before I even get into the campaign. I'll go into his story after we get started, and we'll kind of expand upon it at that point. But right now, all we really need to know is he's basically a necromancer god, almost, I guess you could describe him as. He's spreading a divine disease across Vardenfell, trying to make the other houses, especially the three god kings, religious god kings of Morrowind, here with the Tribunal Temple, trying to exact vengeance on them because they betrayed him at some point in the past. So it's a vengeance quest. We have to retake Vardenfell for glory. Anyways, we do control basically a bunch of zombies. It is basically an undead faction, so that's a little bit unique, but it's also a little bit limited. I think if we want cavalry, I don't think there's any cavalry in this faction, so we're going to have to rely on mercenaries for stuff like that. And yeah, actually, if you look in the weaknesses on the right-hand side, which I'm pointing to with my invisible mouse cursor, strength puts on the battlefield terrible creatures that strike fear in others. Yes, you have creatures who actually lower the morale of opponents when they're near them, which is awesome. We have musicians. We actually do have musicians. What they call, let me just scroll down this thing. Maybe you can read it if you have the time for all of that lore. What the kind of brainwashing thing, his zombies are kind of like a hive mind, and he calls them subject to the music of Dagoth. So yeah, they are kind of musicians in a way. Anyways, magicians is what I was actually trying to say. They have numerous magicians, like magicians in this game. I've tried a couple of custom battles. They're just super powerful. They're long range. They're basically artillery units, and a couple of units of magicians can just wreak absolute havoc on an enemy, so that's definitely useful to have. So we do have range in magicians. We have powerful heavy infantry, which I don't know that we actually have. That might be a lie, just judging by custom battles. We lack professional armies. Anyways, that's our strengths and weaknesses. This is what I'm going to play as because the campaign just looks so cool, starting out right in the middle of Vardenfell with enemies all around us. We can expand from Vardenfell, but we'll discuss our strategies in game. Let's just get this started and hope it doesn't crash. Oh, it seems to be working. It seems like it. And here we have some custom models. Yep, a lot of the towns have custom models in this mod. It's pretty darn neat. And there is the man, Dagoth himself. I guess he's not a man, he's a god, isn't he? There's the man, the god, the legend, and his zombie armies. The victims of the Corpus disease, or the divine disease as we're calling it. Corpus disease, as some blasphemers might say. Just some showcase of some of the units that we might be recruiting in the near future. Yes, indeed. It's basically a necromancer faction, as you can see. Anyways, yeah, this is gonna... Ooh, there's the gate. I forget what it's called. Actually, I don't know that I ever knew what it was called. Was it Shadowgate or something like... Maybe it was Shadowgate. Anyways, that's the gate in the Ashlands that are supposed to be keeping Dagoth inside, so... These must be, Tribunal Temple scumbags that we're killing here. Blasphemers. worshippers of false gods. Yes, indeed, we've actually made it into a game. Wonderful. Alright, welcome, my divine lord. The 6th house, the tribe unmourned. I'm going to read this massive thing and then give you a summary. How about that? I'll scroll through it really slowly so you can read it first. And then... Yes, indeed, this just seems to kind of, detail our betrayal by Vivek and his compatriots way back in the day when we were young. And then... at the end here, we get a little information that's actually relevant. The bulk of House Dagoth's forces are formed by hordes of corpus victims. Those that had no willpower to... Oh, that's blasphemous. Watch what you call that disease, buddy. Those that had no willpower to withstand the divine power of Dagoth. House Dagoth can also command powerful trained warriors and mages. Mightiest of the servants of the tribe unmourned are sleepers of many kinds those who ascended and are connected with the dream of Dagoth, unwielding, or, goddamn, I can't read, wielding potent spells and enchanted weapons. Okay, so now we can get started. Unfortunately, yeah, this is going to be really weird. I'm not sure how this looks to you without actually showing the mouse. I'm going to do my best here. So it looks like our starting location here, we are in a mountain range, completely surrounded, it looks like, by impassable mountains. Only way out looks like Ghost Gate. That's what it was called, not Shadow Gate, Ghost Gate. So we're going to have to, as a first order of attack, I think we're going to have to go for Ghost Gate here. So then taking a look at some of these units that we're starting out with, we have some Dreamers, quite a few of them. They're kind of useless. It looks like 2 attack and 6 defense. Then Corpus Stalkers, who are a little bit better, 5 attack and 7 defense. Granted, I think these guys all have 1 unit of experience at this point in time, so they might be a little bit stronger than they might start default. Then Corpus Lame, who even without experience are better than the Corpus Stalkers. So that's pretty nice. I can't check the bodyguard of Dagoth quite yet. Let me just get him out into the field. There we go, here he comes. Lord Dagoth himself. Yes, indeed, Lord Dagoth's bodyguard is powerful. Most certainly powerful. It is attack 20 and total defense 21, which is just miles above basically anything else I've seen so far. And here we have some Dreamer Swordsmen. We start out with some of these guys. These guys look pretty tough. 16 attack, 18 defense. By far, it looks like our most powerful standard unit are going to be these guys for the time being. So our army is in these lands. Population is rising. Our next level of population for these little villages is going to be 800, so we need to gain 400 population. And it looks like our armies are kind of split fairly evenly in terms of quality between them. I think what I'd like to do as a first plan of action is consolidate all of our most powerful troops here with Dagoth. Yes, I think that's got to be the right thing to do, and then with our powerful, decent army, we can strike at Ghost Gate. Oddly, the Corpus Stalkers and these undead guys don't really seem to have excellent morale in their abilities at a glance, which I would think they would have. I would think, like, being zombies, they would just fight until the death, like, realistically speaking. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like we have any long-range units right now. And we cannot recruit units in any of these little villages. The only place we can recruit units right now is Dagoth itself, the capital, where we can recruit General's Bodyguards, Ashspawn Heavy Swordsmen. Let me take a look at these stats. There we go, Ashspawn Heavy Swordsmen. Upkeep 210. Ash Zombies. Ascended... Ooh, these are the guys who are supposed to be like the elite. Wow, look at that. 10,000 cost to recruit. And like 2,000 a turn upkeep. That's ridiculous. They do have 25 melee attack, 15 missile damage, 35 total defense. There are only 20 of them, but they are magicians, I believe. Yes, very long-range missiles. Yes, they're magicians. So they're kind of like an artillery unit almost, but they can defend themselves in combat too, clearly. What else do they have? Effective against armor, very long-range missiles, excellent morale, may charge without orders, and good stamina. May charge without orders, huh? This is weird. Like, why would I have units that can charge without orders? Aren't they supposed to be kind of directly, you know, controlled by Dagoth? You'd think they'd be very disciplined, actually. Then again, maybe I'm completely wrong. Like I said, I haven't actually played Morrowind yet. I haven't gotten to More Oblivion yet in my playthrough, which I should be getting to shortly. So then maybe all that will be clarified once that happens. Anyways, these Ashspawn look like a cheaper alternative to the Ascended Sleepers. They too have very long-range missiles. And they actually will not charge without orders, so how about that? Anyways, yeah, it's a little bit less powerful, but I'm not sure how much of a difference that makes. They actually have a higher... No, I take that back. I was in reverse. They're basically worse in every way, but they are kind of the poor man's alternative to sleepers, and you could get 2 ash spawn units for less than the upkeep price of 1 ascended sleeper, so it's probably going to be worth it, I'd imagine. You have some dreamer mages, who I think are actually like just short range mages. They don't have the very long range missiles like these two have, so I think these are almost like javelineers. I think that's how they act, except more powerful. Obviously, being, you know, a god deity, having the god deity as our leader, is going to be pretty important to start getting these curates out. I think we have a unique religion that we don't share with anyone else, so we're not going to get any breaks. We're going to have to spread our religion on our own without any help from anyone else. So that's going to be very important to start getting religious structures up as soon as possible. Here's more Corpus Lames, Corpus Stalkers, Dreamers, Ash Ghouls, which look like they're kind of good, but they take 3 turns to recruit, so that's unfortunate. Ash Slaves. Not sure why Ash Slaves are so powerful. Ash Slaves were transformed by divine disease in most curious of ways. They used to be Dunmer. Now being low servants of Ur, their skin turned white as snow, and eyes went blind from mutation. Unlike in the case of Ash Zombies, their brains didn't fall into atrophy. Instead, they were filled with knowledge of filthy dark magic of House Dagoth. Ash Slaves wield great, even if ungodly powers. They are physically extremely fragile, but deadly in their arcane arts. So they're basically mage versions of Ash Zombies, it looks like. Oh, these towns are auto-managing. I gotta fix that really quickly. Okay, here we go. No campaign time limit, please. And, yes, always allow building and recruiting. That should be good, yes. Yep, there we go. Now I can check that off. Anyways, what do these Ash Pits do? They allow the training of Ash Spawn, Ash Ghouls. Okay, so this will get my military up. I think that's going to be my first priority after this. I don't know how powerful these guys are. I hope our force is big enough to attack them next turn. Actually, I'm going to reinforce Dagoth Earth's force here with a couple of just cannon fodder zombies. Since, yeah, they have crossbowmen. So we can send those zombies up front to take the crossbow bolts while the rest charge in safely. Hopefully that works out. So yeah, here in Dagoth the capital, I have 15,000 gold to start out with. So that's a pretty good amount to start with. First off, I want a curate. I want to start training some decent units who I think are going to end up being Ash Spawn Heavy Swordsmen. I think that's going to be my main infantry mainstay for my armies. Because they got 10 attack, 10 defense, not bad at all. Charge bonus 3. And they have the Frighten Nearby Enemy Infantry ability. So that's going to be very useful. I think these guys are going to be my primary go-to. My other alternative might be Ash Zombies, but they're just not as powerful. They're only 20 less upkeep. So an Ash Spawn Zombie, Ash Spawn Heavy Swordsman, for only 20 more upkeep, you get 4 more attack, 1 more defense, and an ability that scares enemies nearby. So that's got to be worth it. I'm going to start training these Ash Spawn guys there. I'm going to train some mages as well, since I have no ranged units. I definitely need some ranged units in construction ASAP. Then I think next up is going to be my economy. I want to get that going, so let's take a look at what does the most here. Building a mine would give me 480 septims from mining per turn. A market would only get me 130, but maybe that would increase if I could develop trade agreements. I wouldn't honestly count on the evil zombie faction being able to develop trade agreements though, so I'm gonna go with those mines. Maybe we can be a little bit more self-sufficient. And then with the rest of the money, I think I'm going to spend 4,800 of that constructing an ash pit in one of my villages. So since we have the tribunals right here, that's basically a guaranteed war right off the bat with them. Let's check our diplomacy really quick and see if maybe we can lessen the burden a little bit. I think we saw from the faction menu that the Tamriel Empire has at least a couple of towns here. I really don't want to pick a fight with the Tamriel Empire immediately. I would much rather. It looks like, yeah, they only have enemies with rebels and the undead right now. So I don't want to be their first major enemy and have them send all of their massive armies at me. I'd rather, before I pick a fight with them, wait for them to, you know, commit to some other war somewhere far away, preferably, and send their armies halfway across the world. And then we can kind of strike and drive them off the island kind of closer to last. I think that's the best plan of attack. Yeah, that's got to be the way to go. And they are allied with... They're allied with Daggerfall. Wow, they're allied with everyone. Clan of Crowned, Kingdom of Wayrest, Orsinium, got Hammerfell, Black Marsh. They're allied with the Dominion right now, so that's something. I don't expect that to last long. Kingdom of Skyrim, Palatine, and Equina, so they got the Khajiits there, and Great House Hlalu. So Hlalu, yes, indeed, Hlalu, the traders, are the only ones who are actually allied with the Tamriel Empire immediately. So maybe they're also enemies with us. Maybe it's worth thinking about making peace with the Hlalu, at least for the time being. I don't want to pick a major fight with the Empire. So with that in mind, here in our capital of Dagoth, I'm going to go ahead and train a diplomat as well. I do have the money for that. And then I've got just enough left over to train another general. Or a general's... Does this give me a general or just a general's bodyguard? I'm really not sure. I guess we'll find out. And here at the beginning of our second turn, we get a little pop-up. Nerevarine. Prophecy fulfilled. 4 clans of the Ashlanders called him Nerevarine. 4 great houses called him Hortator. Lord Indoril Nerevor is born. The incarnate walk among us. Nerevar, reborn, hold a banner of great house Hlalu. Holds a banner, I suppose. Which supported him first and supported his claims. Now this mighty Dunmer will fight growing influence of Dagoth uh-oh, he's fighting against me with sword and word, and destroy the 6th house in the heart of Red Mountain, if he will have enough strength, which he won't, obviously, and I'll make sure of that. Looks like a bunch of our generals have kind of just picked up retinue items. That's interesting. Maybe they're just scripted to get these items at the beginning of the game, I'm not sure. Interestingly, Lord Dagoth is not quite as dreaded as I think he would be. Well, we'll have to fix that. And looks like the tribunal has decided to do something really odd. They've moved 1 unit outside of Ghostgate up into our territory. So I'm not sure what they're thinking there, but we will take advantage of that. Hopefully, I'm not sure what kind of defenses Ghostgate has, but now hopefully we can draw that army out. Oh no, he's gonna fall back. Ah, darn. Okay, well, that's 1 less unit at least to worry about when we take Ghostgate right now. So, yep, we're going to start the siege. Build a couple rams, why not? Alright. And then next turn, hopefully, we should have a decisive advantage over Ghostgate. We have a massive army there. Oddly, we have projected profits of over 6,000. I'm not sure where all this money is coming from. We have 500 there, 200 there, 250, 200, 200... How does this add up to 6,000? I'm confused. I get the feeling we might be getting a monetary bonus because we're Dagoth the big evil house that's supposed to grow really strong, according to lore. So we might be getting a little bit of an invisible gold bonus, which I'm not going to complain about. So anyways, this turn, I think all we can do is keep on expanding these ash pits into all of our villages. That's got to be the logical course of action. This is perfect. So actually we've gotten a mission to go and talk with the Tamriel Empire, which is exactly something that I am interested in doing. So this should tell us, yeah, they have a place down there. So it tells us the location of one of their villages that we can go and visit. We've completed the training of a couple of Ashspawn heavy swordsmen just in time, so they can come up and join this assault. Now we should be able to, yes, it's time to attack. It's time to take Ghostgate and start the Reconquista of Vardenfell. Now is the time. The moment is nigh. Assault immediately. I love the little models that they've created for all these units on the map too. They're really good. We can attempt a night attack, and who are we ruling out if we do that? The 1 unit of Order of War Men-at-Arms. Should we bother with that? I don't think we even bother with that, really. Then again, they might come and join. You know what? I'm not sure how this layout is going on. It might just be like a wall, and they'll spawn the reinforcements behind the wall. So I think I will, just in case. I think I'm going to go for the night attack. I don't know how powerful these units are. And here we are in the Ashlands. There's Ghostgate ahead of us. Dagoth is going to give a speech. Or maybe he's just going to stay silent and say nothing. Yeah, he's just going to stay silent and say nothing and look around. Looks like they haven't implemented the speeches in this mod. And yes, indeed, the Ashlands are very black and ashy. Now, as far as I could tell, we cannot actually retrain the Dreamer Swordsman anywhere. So those casualties are going to be permanent for the time being until we can upgrade our facilities and actually train them somewhere. They are our most powerful unit, but we also can't really afford to lose them. I'd much rather put these Ash Spawn Heavy Swordsmen on the front lines and have them and these zombies take the heavy casualties. Oh, they have a ram too. Yeah, I'd much rather have that happen. And actually, I don't even think I need a ram, so I'm going to have them drop the ram. I'm going to have our basic Corporate Stalkers take these rams up to the gate and take any casualties that might be sustained in the process. I'll have these Ash Spawn Heavy Swordsmen follow them up, and then I'll follow that up with the main force. And I think Dagoth wants to get in on this fight himself. Hopefully he doesn't just immediately die, we'll see, but he has a very powerful unit, so I'm not too afraid. And I should be able to retreat and retrain Dagoth's forces at the capital anyway, so that should be fine. Let's start the battle, see what they've got here. Oh, I forgot to, game options, restrict camera, no. That's no fun at all. Yes, indeed, here is Ghost Gate. Ooh, nice long tunnel. There is no gate in here. I don't know what... There is no gate. I have no need for a ram, do I? That ram was completely pointless, okay? In that case, drop the rams. Yeah, drop those. Let's just move up our expendable units. It looks like this is going to be a fight for control over a small choke point. So, might as well get them into the meat grinder first and foremost. Here's a nice little close-up of our zombies. They got little torches and everything. Alright, so they're not completely brain dead. They know how to carry things. And they apparently need light. That is a little bit strange. They have glowing red eyes. These guys look cool. Look at that. They're like mummies. Send up my mummy armies. Don't make me embalm you. And here are the Dreamers. But I can't quite make out what is supposed to be what. It looks like they're just wearing like heavy armor in the color of flesh. I can't quite tell. Hopefully I'm not going to regret leaving those behind. Hopefully there's not like an invisible gate that's going to stop me. Let me make sure, absolutely positive that yes, I can attack these guys, no problem. Alright, here we go. They're starting to fire literally through the wall. Apparently they can do that. That is totally cheating. But now our Corporate Zombies, our Corporate Stalkers there, are going to get the first blows in. They're going to absorb those initial shots and ram into them through this little clustered area. Here they come. Uh-oh. Yep, this is not going to go well for our Corpus dudes, but at the very least they're going to absorb some fatigue from the enemy. Actually, I should probably have just sent one of them in and then held the other one back to take arrows. Are they going to keep firing? No, ooh, this is even better. They're actually going to walk into combat. Okay, I mean, you could do that if you want to. That totally works for me. If they're just going to walk in and engage in melee combat, that means I can move these guys up with impunity, right behind them. I still want to keep these guys back a little ways, but I should still be able to get fairly... Yeah, you know what? If they don't have any range anymore, I'm going to send Dagoth right up towards the front. Hopefully these zombies will wear on their fatigue a little bit, and then I'll send my main forces in and clean up what's left, is the plan. In the meantime, I guess we can get a close-up on some of these tribunal units. Ooh, that's a general. Ooh, he looks really cool. I think he's got ebony armor on. That's neat. Anyways, here's all these tribunal. This is the general's bodyguard. I like their neat golden helmets. That's awesome. Little blue plumes. That's actually... They're almost too colorful. They're so colorful, it's kind of like throwing me off. And then back here, who are these guys? The buoyant armigers. Armigers? Looks like they have some kind of glass armor on. That's pretty neat. They look really tough. They look like they're going to be tough to take out. Hopefully they're not as strong as they look. The archers are actually firing up and over here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these guys. Do I really want to pull them out of range? Maybe it's best to just send... you know what? Yeah, I have to pull these guys out of range for now because I'm not going to be able to get past my horde of zombies yet. So pull these guys back if the crossbowmen are going to pull out and start firing. I can leave my ash dudes in, but let's put them in spaced stance. Yeah, and then that'll have to work. And you guys just double time it out of there. It looks like our corpus zombies are being pushed into the tunnel, back away from the exit, but they're not routing yet. They're still eager. They are very tired. So maybe they maybe they do have really high morale, even if they're not marked for it. They really, like, logically, they shouldn't break. If we see, like, zombies just breaking and running away, that would be pretty strange. This really isn't the smartest of defensive structures, to be honest. Like, they should have put some walls up here for the archers to stand on or something. Instead, we have the archers literally firing their arrows up and arching them over the walls to try and hit things on the other side, just blindly. That is to say, when they're not just straight up cheating and firing them through solid stone surfaces. But, you know, what can you do about that? I wonder at this point, if I were to retreat my Corpus zombies back through here, would they follow me and allow us to surround them? Because I'd really like to get these more powerful zombies into the fight, if I can. Go ahead and form up. They are coming slowly. Come on, keep following. Gotta draw them through with these zombies. Yes, it seems to be working. No, don't turn around. Don't turn around. No, they're going to turn around and stay inside. Darn. Oh well. In fact, these guys are exhausted now, so I think I will, in fact, switch them out. And then these guys can start taking the arrows, which is what they're good for. And I can switch these Ash Spawn heavy swordsmen in to actually fight the battle and maybe kill some people now. They are exhausted. Presumably the enemy should be exhausted as well. So this should have worked out. Let's see how well they do. Yep, here they come. These buoyant armigers can't quite decide what they're going to do with their lives. They're just running around in circles. Yes, here come the mummies. I wish they would run a little bit faster. They're not nearly as menacing when they're so slow. They'd be like the Fallout 4 zombies, you just kind of lunge at them. So they are still getting arrows in on them, unfortunately. I really want to get in here into a fight so that they have to shoot at the crappy zombies way back here. That would be my main objective. And it looks like they are being held back by these Order of War men-at-arms. There are not very many of them. Oh, there he goes. He's down. He's down. Finish him. Finish him. Haha. Yes. Well done. I think they are actually winning. I'm seeing more enemies falling now than zombies, so that's a good sign. Oh, here come the armigers. They're finally getting here into the fray, which should block off the archers, but we'll see how tough they actually are. This might be a problem. I might have to send Lord Dagoth himself in here to deal with them. Note, surprisingly, I feel like these Ash Spawn are still making a tiny bit of headway. They are advancing towards the enemy. They're not being pushed back yet, so that's a good sign. Maybe they can actually handle this. We are winning the battle, really? I mean, we've lost 20% of our allies, whereas we've only killed 6. But then again, those 20% are probably mainly sacrificial, you know, slaughter people over here with the Ash Spawn heavy swordsmen and the Corpus stalkers who can be replenished. And are they going to recover from exhausted, or no? Is that just not something that they do? Yes, excellent. The archers are wasting, crossbowmen are wasting their arrows on the Corpus stalkers now, which are my useless little arrow fodder unit. So, all's going according to plan so far. You know, despite the valiant effort of the defenders here, our mummies are just starting to push out into the freedom of the open world. Will they be able to stop us? I don't think so. We haven't even sent in our heavy shock troops yet. I honestly wasn't even expecting them to get this far. I was just sending in the replenishable units to kind of absorb the early arrows and blows and kind of exhaust them. But it looks like they're actually winning here. Oh, yep, they're making solid progress now. Wow, they just suddenly started pushing way deep into enemy territory. I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah, here they go. Uh-oh, they're making headway now. This must be troubling for the enemy. There's not many of them left, but they are pushing forward. Alright, I think now is the time to actually send the Corpus Stalkers back into the fray to help out, because we're running thin. And we're not going to be able to cover all our flanks in a moment here. We're going to get pushed back. Here they come. Come on, charge in. We need more body mass behind this push. Gotta force them back. Here it comes. They're kind of shambling in slowly. Gonna make it here eventually. Yep, here we go. Okay, now they're just going to help reinforce the back. And then once they start to empty out, I'm going to start sending in... Just send in maybe Dagoth and 1 or 2 units of Dreamers to hopefully finish this out. Yep, okay, now it's time to fall back with my Ash Spawn heavy infantry, so hopefully we can save them for retraining later. And indeed... Let's send in the reinforcements. Here they come. Dagoth and 2 units of Dreamer Swordsmen incoming. These guys are still firing. They just have bolts for days. They are not running out of ammo. Anytime soon, it looks like. Looks like Dagoth is heading in first, which I'm not entirely sure I want that to happen. Let's just have him wait for a second for the Dreamers to get in. Okay, now go. I do want some of his bodyguards in there because they can probably be retrained. Yep, so let's fall back with these Corpus dudes now. Get them back out there and make room for the Dreamers at the front lines. Here we go, time to switch off. Gotta get out of there. Stop punching people. Or you could just die. I guess you could die. Oh, they got the hint. Here they go. Now here come the Dreamers. How are they gonna perform? Ooh, they just cut him down right away. Okay, these are by far my most powerful units. Way more powerful than anything else I have fielded. So hopefully they'll make more progress than everyone else.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
We sure will smash them. Yeah, they're starting to die pretty quickly now. Awesome. Okay, there we go. I've kind of pulled the Dreamers back temporarily and sent them back in so we could get some of the bodyguards in the front lines here. Now hopefully they will just wreck shop, because the bodyguards are even more powerful than the Dreamers. They're just ridiculously strong. Yeah, we got some in the pushing into the ranks here. It's kind of hard to tell who's who though, since they kind of have the same color armor. Well, and fast forward, the fighting just keeps going on and on here, but victory does seem certain according to Dagoth. And defeat is a distinct possibility for the enemy, so we do appear to be winning, even though I'm not seeing much progress being made. We are still just kind of sitting here killing anyone who comes close to us. So maybe not the most exciting battle in all of Total War history. It's just kind of a one-way choke point here. There's not really much strategy involved. But we just have to push our way through them. That's going to be the only way we can move forward. We just got to go through the meat grinder to get out of our prison in the Ashlands here. It's the only thing we can do. We just got to push on through. Oh. Yes, awesome, awesome. We have enough room now. So out come the bodyguards. Ooh, and the enemy general is dead. That means they're probably going to be fleeing soon. Awesome. Okay, this is enough. This is enough. We can get this flanking maneuver off now. Come on, just come up straight behind him. We can finally stop these crossbowmen. Just a little, gotta be patient. Straight behind him. Wait for him to get in position. We got them. We got him. We just gotta close the trap. Here it comes. And now, get him. Alright, take a Dagoth in the back. Alright, so that's at the very least going to stop the crossbowmen, and now we can just kind of close up and clamp around them. And I think this battle is as good as done. Raylan, the traitor, is dead. And the time of vengeance for Dagoth is here. The traitors are falling to our blades, and soon they'll flee. Actually, the betrayers may never flee, because I think they're in the magical circle of the captured territory, where they're just morale is infinite. So yeah, they might never disappear. They're just gonna fight to the last man. Or elf thing. I don't know what the Dunmer prefer to be called. Probably just elves. Oh, Dagoth just shanked a bitch. Oh, and down goes another one. Uh-oh, he's taking matters into his own hands now. Oh, and there. Oh, he just stabs him in the back. Oh, he's still alive. Oh, and down goes another one. Dagoth, that's like 5 confirmed kills now. He's still going. He's not showing any signs of slowing down. Actually, now he's just kind of... I think he's had enough. He knows now it's over. They've collapsed. He's just going to sit there and watch the rest of them fall. He doesn't need to partake any longer. Maybe his bloodlust is sated. Oh, was that... That was the last one. The last one just got shanked. And there it is, our first steps towards freedom, towards retribution. Down with the betrayers. Alright, this was a clear victory. It looks like Dagoth and his bodyguard themselves did the vast majority of the work. 262 casualties inflicted, only 1 experience gained. But I mean, like, when you're Dagoth, the expectations are pretty high. Sadly, we did not heal any of the casualties taken by the Dreamer Swordsman. That's unfortunate, since those are the ones that we can't retrain. We did heal a bunch of... Maybe it has something... No, we did heal 1 casualty, so it can't be that whether they're trainable or not. I'm not sure what decides whether casualties are healed or not in this game. I don't know how that is calculated, but All of our healed casualties went to units that we could retrain anyway, so that's unfortunate. But we did not, I don't think, lose any entire units. Ghostgate has a population of 5 or something. I don't know what. I think the minimum population is 400, so they probably like 405 people. Anyways, obviously we're Dagoth, we're evil as fuck. We exterminate everyone. There we go. Dagoth is a mean leader. Oh, cry some more. So this is actually an interesting acquisition by Lord Dagoth here. We did get a shield bearer, which I'm not sure how this is going to work. Normally, this is actually, I don't like this very much because it would give a -1 to morale of all troops on the battlefield. But since, judging by what I saw from the last battle, these zombies just never run away. Because I had those simple zombies, I sent them in, they took huge casualties, they were exhausted, and they were eager the entire time. So I don't think morale is going to be an issue for Lord Dagoth's forces here, so this might be just a purely positive retinue expansion right now. Shield Bearer, anyways, -1 morale for all troops on the battlefield, maybe won't even have an effect on these particular zombie troops, and +2 to General's hit points. So basically this is just a +2 to General's hit points, which is amazing. Especially for Dagoth, who I want to get in the fray as much as possible. And then 1 more Dread for winning first, so he should be up to, yeah, enemy army routes. He should be up to 4 Dread now, if I calculate that correctly. Yes, 4 Dread for Dagoth. He is consciously working towards terror and blackmail, or he consciously works terror and blackmail into his strategies, which does sound like Dagoth. Actually, does it? He kind of works terror into his strategies. I don't know of any instances of Dagoth blackmailing people, but we'll see. So I think we'll take this force and drive them away. Yes, can anyone actually reach them? I can reach them. I can't reach them with them, but I can reach them with the rest of the units. So yeah, let's go and finish this 1 unit off. I'll just auto-resolve that. Yep, execute them. We need more Dread. And then retreat back to there, and then I'm going to start sending the units that I can retrain back towards Dagoth, the capital, and hopefully we can get those guys back up to full strength. And in the meantime, it's time to send our Dagoth sleepers out here to start converting Ghostgate to the cult of Dagoth. And then we also have this diplomat prepared. We'll start sending him down to down here, I think. Let me check that task again really quickly. Down there. We'll start sending him in that direction to try and talk to the Imperial City, or the Imperial Empire, whatever. This is Balmora, owned by, I see the scales there. Looks like this is owned by the Hlalu. And who is that? Maybe Redoran in red up there? Anyways, this has been, I think, about 40 minutes. I think I'm going to cut the first episode off at this point. We've done a little bit. We've gotten started. We've managed to get it here. Let me just save. Okay, good. To save and make sure it's not going to crash and I lose everything and then have to restart this entire thing again. But anyways, we've got our feet wet. We've gotten started. We've managed to break free of the Ashlands here with Dagoth, and in the next episode I think it's time to start building up our armies in earnest and attempting to take back Vardenfell. We're going to start at that. And we'll devise our strategy in the next episode, I think. For right now, this is going to be it. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.